Hello, dear friends. Let's face it, system change cannot happen without an agreement with China. Opinion piece, Jubilee agreement, new financial system, negotiation with China, cancellation of bad debts, plan to attack Iran rejected, only way to avoid aggression. US could manipulate time and space. A financial event will shock the world. Chinese have more gold than they say. Trump said there would be a celebration from 2025 to 26. Let's start. An agreement with China on a new financial system to celebrate a debt jubilee is expected to be reached during the month of May, according to promises from Asian secret societies and Western intelligence sources, says Benjamin Fulford. Experts are building the roadmap for the future financial system with a high complex transfer of the old system's data set. A debt jubilee is the periodic, unconditional, and widespread cancellation of unpayable debts, inspired by ancient traditions, intended to restore balance and social and economic justice when financial obligations become unsustainable for a significant portion of the population. A modern jubilee seeks to wipe the slate clean, eliminating bad debts to avoid economic depression and allow debtors to recover. A jubilee would be the only way to avoid depression, according to Michael Hudson. However, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is staying out of this negotiation because he failed a vetting process when he secretly called Alex Soros on Sunday night. The Treasury relies on foreign investors to finance a national debt that is growing at an unprecedented rate. Furthermore, Senator Elizabeth Warren wanted that the stock market would collapse if President Trump fired Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. According to the Storm Rider, tariff revenue will replace the income tax and is a military operation. The reason Trump stopped the tariffs is because everyone is panicking, and it's time to negotiate. Trump said there will be a celebration from 2025 to 2026. Never interfere with an enemy while it is in process of self-destruction. A chemtrails task force is also underway. This elite unit is dismantling the weather warfare program. The silent war in the sky is over, and the justice is coming. Evidence and communications have been intercepted. Criminal proceedings are underway. Some of these agents are already changing their minds to avoid treason charges. China. Chinese factories are shutting down and laying off workers, according to the Financial Times. According to the Storm Rider, Xi Jinping, Modi, Putin, and Trump are secretly collaborating to control the collapse of the CCP in China. When it collapses, the coalition will be there to help. Two events are coming: a financial event that will shock the world and a near nuclear confrontation. The reason China can't start a war is because the US has the most powerful technology, because it can manipulate time and space. This super technology would be a computer with living intelligence. These operations will free the world from slavery. The Storm Rider speaks of powerful surviving computers and technologies and a world free from slavery. It also describes the collapse of the CCP in China, but behind the scenes is the coalition to help rebuild China after it collapses, without the influence of the dark side. It also reveals how extraordinary the technology of the White Hats have been using since 2012, when they changed the timeline. It is a living intelligence rather than a computer. These operations will free the world from slavery, but the US would be spearhead. There is much to look forward to, much to be thankful for. It appears that the US is counting on a previously secret technology and its main bargaining chip in upcoming negotiations with China. The Chinese have much more gold than they claim. The CCP has accumulated 32,000 tons of gold, at least 6 times the official figure and almost 4 times the gold reserves declared by the US. Could this be the reason why Trump says, "I think we are going to make a very good deal with China"? Trump sounds very confident and adds that he's certain that no one can compete with us. No one. In quotes. White House Director of Science and Technology Michael Kratsios announced that his government possesses technology capable of manipulating and modifying time and space, as it could perform teleportation and time travel. In quotes. Our technologies allow us to manipulate time and space. They annihilate distances, drive growth, and improve productivity, he stated without elaborating, without giving details. Later in his speech, Kratsios insisted that overcoming the sclerosis of the state would allow citizens to achieve scientific discoveries that will alter time and space, do more with less, and take us even further into the infinite frontier. Close quotes. The Storm Rider explains the surroundings of the new Pope's election in relation to human-demon hybridation and the time travel technologies possessed by both the White Hats and the Vatican. He also reveals that information about human cloning technology will be revealed. Incredible. According to Cabermour, the Pentagon discovered that there are beings walking among us who can control time and space. These are not time-traveling, dimension-hopping humans. They are members of the Galactic Federation. They have always been with us. This is the life in which we will reunite. According to Ignace, the Cabal used portal technology during the Vietnam War. When soldiers thought they were in Asia, they were actually taken to the planet Venus. The gravity is different. The nature is different. Venus is, in fact, a tropical paradise used by the Ethely Cabal for their vacations. Europe. In addition to seizing the third, the coalition is now targeting European regimes. Last week, Macron met with US leaders in Paris. After the meeting, Marco Rubio declared, "If there is no agreement in the next few days, the US will withdraw from the war in Ukraine. It's not a war. We will simply withdraw." Germany, the Baltic countries, and France could not resist Russia for more than a few weeks. 5-star General Douglas MacGregor explained that most of those who want us to double down on Ukraine want us to expand the war in the Middle East and go to war with every country in the region until the entire East is subjugated to Israeli rule. So, either we get rid of these people or we go under, because they represent a danger to the survival of our country. People were shocked to learn that we were actually supporting Al-Qaeda and ISIS against the Houthis. Japan. Meanwhile, the dark side continues to wage a rearguard action to prevent this debt Jubilee from happening. Ryo Tatsuki, a highly regarded Japanese psychic, predicts that the tsunami will hit Japan in July. In his view, it would be an underwater volcanic eruption that would affect several Asian countries, the most affected being Taiwan, Indonesia, and the Northern Mariana Islands. A high-ranking member of the three-legged crow secret society that controls the Shinto religion and the Japanese royal family says it is this threat of seismic attack that compels Japan to obey the cabal. However, plans to destroy Tokyo by triggering the eruption of Mount Fuji appear to have been cancelled after hundreds of earthquakes hit the Canary Island of La Palma in the Atlantic Ocean. A giant crack runs through the center of this island, and if an earthquake caused it to fall into the ocean, a 100-meter high tsunami would hit the east coast of America and much of the European coastline. Satan no longer rules the earth. Iran. President Trump has rejected plans to attack Iran. This means that the people who try to initiate the third wave have been marginalized. The third party. The global holiday has been going on for over 30 years. The agreement with the US has caused the price of gold and the dollar to collapse in Iran, which has caused the price of all other goods to fall. Iran's central bank has drained liquidity from the system to a dangerous level, to the point where people can no longer afford to pay high prices. Any agreement between Iran and the US that lifts sanctions and unlocks Iran's vast foreign currency reserves would cause the dollar to plummet. Trump has unlocked $12 billion frozen dollars to allow Iran to buy Western aircraft. In Afghanistan, Russia is helping the Taliban dismantle heroin and terrorism networks. The Russian government has recognized the Taliban government in Afghanistan, opening the door to major projects such as the Trans-Afghan Railway and the Turkmenistan-Afghanistan-Pakistan-India gas pipeline, which has been suspended since the 2010s. Turkey overthrew Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad because he secretly collaborated with Israel and the Islamist MK movement to depopulate Syria. Now that the US is withdrawing its troops from Syria under Turkish pressure, the State Department is warning of terrorist attacks in the area. Opinions. According to Poet Talk, everything is coming to light, but as Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, there is nothing new under the sun. Sometimes I reflect on vanished civilizations and know that some of them were far more advanced than us. Dormant faculties are now awakening at all levels, according to Judith Castle, faculties that humanity hasn't used for thousands of years, if not longer. And this is happening not only in humans, but in all life forms ascending to the new earth. When President Trump was asked about the status of the Epstein files, he said he would speak with Attorney General Pam Bondi and that everything would be released in sequence. He assured us that information is coming in and nothing will be withheld. It will be revealed over time. According to Sierra, Epstein was not a corrupt actor. It was standard operating procedure. This island was a trap. The operations were used to compromise politicians, judges, business magnates, and even royalty. This is how control is exercised, not through democracy or diplomacy, but through influence and shame. According to Randall Carson, the Grail and the Philosopher's Stone can be interchanged without loss of meaning. What we are doing here is reframing ancient knowledge and trying to find a format appropriate for the era we are embarking on. Sightings will increase according to Capamore. The benevolent beings who have allowed their ships to be seen throughout history work here, not live here. They have bases in our oceans, lakes, mountains, and motherships around the planet, but they come from distant star systems and use portals to travel back and forth. People within the government and military already know that the Galactic Federation is with us and how untouchable they are. They don't want to talk about it directly because of the implications and possible fear reactions. Sightings will increase and more footage will be leaked so people can come to their own conclusions. Then the shift will occur and everyone will finally be ready for the meeting. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.